Hi everyone, my name's Caroline Byrd. Today I would like to talk to you about my experiences in channeling and connection with Mahatma Gandhi. Now, some of you may find this very difficult to understand, that someone who has not been living on the earth plane for a while can connect with someone who actually is living. This is my experience, and channeling is something that has been very natural. Being clairaudient, it has just been there. I would always write, listen to guidance, and write things down. Now, my connection with Mahatma Gandhi started many years ago. I would probably say about 18, 19 years ago, when I was doing some teachings from India through breathwork. And these teachings, I was asked to buy a copy or have a copy of the Bhagavad Gita, which is a discourse of Psalms that people read in a Hindu tradition to connect closer to God. So the Bhagavad Gita, I went looking. I went in lots of different bookstores, trying to look for the one that just, felt right for me. And what happened was I saw all the most popular ones, the traditional ones. I looked a lot of different places. And in the end, what I realized was I kept getting drawn to one, which was a commentary of the Bhagavad Gita by Mahatma Gandhi. And I kept getting drawn to it, so I did eventually buy it. I loved it. I read it, I understood it, I listened to a couple of different versions of Gandhi's, and I would like to just recite something that Gandhi has written just about the Gita, and this was his words. When doubt haunts me, when disappointments stare me in the face, and I see not one ray of hope on the horizon, I turn to Bhagavad Gita and find a verse to comfort me. And I immediately begin to smile. In the midst of overwhelming sorrow, those who meditate on the Gita will derive fresh joy and new meaning from it every day. Gandhi. This became something that I did every day. I don't do it all the time now, but I do revert back to it when need to. So this was my first connection with Mahatma Gandhi, and I loved it. I loved the way he recited and commentated on the actual Gita. It helped me understand it. Now, my next connection that I had was probably about 6 years after that. I was living in an area and met some people who were connected to the Hare Krishnas in the Sunshine Coast, Australia. And a friend of mine, it was her birthday, and she invited me along to her home. And they had invited, through the Hare Krishnas, a man from India called Prabhashi. That's the only name I know him by. Now, Prabhashi was an 85-year-old Indian man who was blind from the age of 2. So I arrived at my girlfriend's house and I saw this beautiful man sitting there, very calm and peaceful, and he gave satsang. And afterwards we were given a one-on-one with him. It was very profound for me. But through the discourse, as I'm sitting listening to Prabhashi share his story, he shared that his journey began in India, in a town on the Ganges rivers, and he actually was raised with and brought up with Mahatma Gandhi as a child. That got my ears probing because, of course, this connection that I had with Gandhi. And I listened to him. He was a beautiful man. To this day, after that moment that I met with him, had a one-on-one with him, which was very, very profound for me. After that, I never heard of him. And to this day, I have no idea if this man is living or if he has passed over. So my next my next meeting that I had, or connection to Gandhi, was through being given a book through a friend of mine who looked into some deeper Indian teachings through Paramahansa Yogananda. Now, as many of you may know, Paramahansa Yogananda was born in India. As he got older, he moved to America to take his teachings there, and he was a very good friend of, again, Mahatma Gandhi. So Paramahansa Yogananda was another Indian person that I was drawn to. I've read many of his books. I have read lots of sections in his books regarding his journey with Gandhi. The two of them, to me, have a very beautiful energy, and I always go by the energy of what I'm reading and what I'm looking at. So that was my next connection, was through Yogananda, which was my connection to Gandhi again. Now, over the years, as I have attempted and gone into very, very deep meditations, I have seen Gandhi's face just coming in very gently and then leaving. Nothing really coming of it, just coming and going. Now, also when I was given a healing by a very dear friend of mine, as she placed her hands on me, not knowing my connection to Gandhi and my interest in Gandhi, I would say, she said to me, "Oh, interesting." She said, "I can see Gandhi's face. It's like he's in your energy field." And I laughed and I thought, yeah, that'd be right. That was my connection with Gandhi. So this happened frequently over time. I never really thought much about it. And then late last year, 2015, in fact, the 27th of December 2015, I was in a deep meditation, and again I saw Gandhi come. And this time he stopped and he started to talk to me. Now, as he spoke to me, he shared with me that he would like me to write. And he started to talk, and I was meditating, so I was like, I'm meditating and I have to write this down and I won't remember all the things you're saying right now. And he said, "That's all right." He said, "When you finish this meditation," and as you can see, my face went stern because that's it. "When you finish this meditation, you will go to your computer and you will write." And I was like, okay. So I did. I finished my meditation. Straight out of the meditation, I went straight to my computer and I started to what I call channel. And I wrote. Now, Gandhi shared with me quite a few truths about what's happening in the universe, in the world, where energy is at play, what we're needing to understand for 2016. There's just one thing I would like to read from this, and this is what I will share with you today. Energy is the way of the future. Humanity has channeled energy well for the purpose of creating instruments and gadgets to help society in growing, achieving, and unfortunately for the purpose of accumulating and destruction. When I was hearing this, I realized he was showing me who we are today, where we have come from, what is really happening. But he also helped me to understand the truth of who we are, which is energy, and that we can shift energy, change energy, and change environment through energy. One more little excerpt from this. To know energy is to understand the mechanism of the body. It is a palpable energy, a machine that emits energy and also transforms energy. Diffusing energy is a rare commodity. It has been about engaging in and keeping the charge alive within the mind and the heart of each individual. There has been lost the altruism of connection, of whole energy connections. Now, when I hear this, I feel that we have taken energy to such a point in humanity's evolution that we have forgotten its true purpose and how powerful we are. We are always wanting to change reality, something outside of us, or to create something outside of us. But all creation, all reality comes from within here. It never comes from outside. The outside is a reflection of inside. I will leave that with you. Enjoy.